Hello book nerds, welcome to Bookshelf Bunny. I'm Kim and this is the Reading Tastes book tag. Hey book nerds! So I was tagged by Jackie at Jackie's Literary Corner. Make sure to check out her amazing channel. Let's just jump right into these questions. Our first question. Describe your reading taste in one sentence. I will read anything that you put in front of me, within reason. I think that sings good. Describe your reading taste with categories, genre, age, length, etc. My favorite genres are horror, sci-fi, fantasy. Hands down, that's where I naturally gravitate to. I will read books for all ages, anything from kids' books to YA to adult. Other genres that I enjoy are like classics, Frankenstein, The Bronte Sisters, Pride and Prejudice. I also enjoy comics, manga, graphic novels, memoirs, nonfiction, reference books. And when I say reference books, I mean like writing reference books. Show us a few books that represent your reading taste. Okay, so in the realm of horror, here's a book. In the realm of classics and horror, here's a book. Fantasy, when it comes to fantasy, I like everything from paranormal fantasy to romantic fantasy. But I also really enjoy like epic sagas. So that's an epic saga in the making. These are chunky. Oh yeah, that's another thing. The other one asked me to talk about length. I will read any length. I will read any length. Ginormous book, no problem. Short, tiny novella, no problem. I like to read diverse books and I like to sort of expand my comfort zone. So a fantasy book that is diverse, sticking with the fantasy genre. Priory of the Orange Tree. This has some LGBTQ+ representation in it, and also it's an amazing fantasy novel with a little bit of spice. Graphic novels, that's an example. I love Harley Quinn. Batman DC Universe is my favorite thing. DC, Wonder Woman. I also like manga. Sailor Moon, Death Note are my favorites. So some more books that sort of fit my genres are indie authors. I love indie authors. They are the best. Here are some examples. Check out these books. Make sure you read them. I will put links to them in the description below. This was also amazing. And this series is really good. I recently read the second book and I loved it, so check it out. Science fiction. I love science fiction. Here's one of my all-time favorite sci-fi books. I like books that make me think, so like speculative fiction, that too. Okay, next question. A book you didn't enjoy that seemed like it would be your taste. I think the closest I can come to that is going to be A Touch of Darkness by Scarlett St. Clair. It felt like it was going to be a sort of magical fantasy pulling on Greek mythology with a romance and an enemies to lovers trope, which is my jam, by the way. I love enemies to lovers. But it just didn't quite do it. I still enjoyed it. I can't say it was a terrible book, and I have every intention of reading the next one. But it just didn't quite hit where I thought it was going to hit. Next question. Show us a book you enjoyed that didn't seem like it would be your taste. I can't think of one. Before I did this tag, I brainstormed that question and I just couldn't think of one. Generally speaking, if a book doesn't jump out at me, if it's like synopsis doesn't jump out at me, I probably won't pick it up at all. And most of the books that I've read, I, for the most part, enjoyed. Very rarely do I give anything a 2 or a 1 star out of 5. So couldn't think of anything on that one for you, but if I do, I'll let you know. Number 6, show us some books on your TBR that seem like they will be exactly your taste. On my TBR currently is this beauty, The Call of Cthulhu, which is both horror and a classic. This feels like it's going to be exactly my taste. It's been on my TBR for a couple months now, so hopefully I'll actually read it soon. A booktuber you watch who has similar taste to you. There's a few, and I think I'm gonna go with Mini Book Chats in the YA world. She reads a lot of YA books and fantasy books, like light fantasy books that I gravitate towards. And Jessica over at Jess the Book Freak, she reads a lot of horror and Stephen King and comics and classics. Those two. Have you always had this taste in books, or has it changed over time? For the most part, my taste in books has been the same, especially in terms of fantasy and horror. I grew up reading Goosebumps like most 90s kids, and that just kind of transitioned into other horror, Fear Street, Christopher Pike, Stephen King, a jump. Read a lot of fantasy growing up too. I think one area where my tastes changed is I was not a huge fan of romance for a long time. But then came Sarah J. Maas. And she writes a fantasy romance genre generally that is intriguing and spicy and a lot of enemies to lovers and a lot of her stuff. And it just, I'm leaning more towards that genre also now. And that's new. That's new within like the last 5 years. And last but not least, tag some people. Per usual, if you are watching this video right now, consider yourself tagged. If you do this video, if you do this tag, I would love to watch it. Make sure you mention me in your video's description with the @ bookshelf bunny so that I am notified to watch your video. And that's it. That's all I got for you. If you haven't already, please like and subscribe this video. That's a thing that I should probably say in videos and I tend to forget. But yes, please like and subscribe this video. I have had a lot of new subscribers this year and I am over 100, which is amazing. I don't make videos for the subscribers. Numbers don't really matter to me. I do it because it's fun and I like to connect with my fellow readers and writers. But if you would like to subscribe, I would also appreciate that, because why not? All right, book nerds, that's all I've got for you. And as always, happy reading.